Pokemon Indonesia returns with a new set called Stellar Guidance, which contains many cards from the Stellar Crown and Shrouded Fable sets, or Stellar Miracle and Night Wanderer in Japanese. You can possibly pull some amazing art rares and special arts like Terapagos, Hydrapple, or trainers like Cassiopeia and Lacey. Since early on in the Scarlet and Violet era, Indonesian Pokemon releases have been combining sets, similar to how its first Indonesian sets in the Sun and Moon era were arranged, but not as big. But if you like collecting Pokemon cards with English names, but printed in the Japanese card quality, this is a great language to collect in my opinion. Bimbingan Rasi, aka Stellar Guidance. So it looks and feels just like a Japanese Pokemon booster box, again printed in Japan, same card quality, but one big difference you're going to see actually is the Pokeball print on the shrink wrap. This is something we definitely see on the traditional Chinese Pokemon booster boxes nowadays. Wasn't always like that, even with Indonesian wasn't always like this either. Another indication too of legitimacy, if you're looking for pointers on that as well, is this little logo with Pikachu here, adorably enough. Pokemon Indonesia Game KrystalKollectz, meaning game card collection. And you'll find this rip tab too, just like with the modern Japanese Pokemon booster boxes after Scarlet and Violet era, or EX base set. We have our 30 packs, 5 cards per pack. Secret Rare is guaranteed, thankfully. This wasn't always the case. Back in Sun and Moon era, and even part of Sword and Shield era, there would be booster boxes where the Secret Rare, meaning the SR, HR, or UR, wouldn't be guaranteed, but nowadays, thankfully, it is. This was starting from Starbirth, so definitely deep into Sword and Shield era. As you can see, lovely silver borders. The Pokemon have the English names, but the text here is going to be in Indonesian, so that's one big difference. And we have our art rare Gulpin, very nice. I don't think I've actually pulled this many times, so happy to see this. Again, really nice sheen quality that you'd see in the Japanese Pokemon cards as well. Usually each booster box will come with 3 art rares, sometimes 4 if you're very lucky. It happens with Korean too, interestingly enough. But a little bit of background information with the Indonesian booster boxes. One prediction I have as to why Indonesian Pokemon cards might have done better or improved over time. Most likely, of course, improved funding. There are a lot of people in Indonesia playing the TCG more, definitely compared to when it first started. Oh my gosh, that is a great full art to pull. We have Lacey, of course, the Indonesian name is Tara. I did mention this before in my Batik Pikachu collection box opening, but we got the full art, guys. Hit that like button. I'm very happy to see that. Very nice coloring, again, printed in Japan. Nothing too different. If you were to compare this to simplified Chinese Pokemon cards as well, since there's the jumbo and slim pack card quality, this will resemble more of the jumbo pack if you're into that as well. But yeah, also to the pack art, as you can see, they just shoved a lot of the Pokemon card art on there. Little Rowlet there's just staring into our soul. And Terapagos is front and center along with Cinderace. Again, 2 cards from Stellar Crown and Shrouded Fable, or Stellar Miracle and Night Wanderer if you collect Japanese only, or Abominable. But yeah, this is the time when Indonesia, or Pokemon Indonesia, are fusing sets together. This started back in Black Sparkle. This is around like Obsidian Flames time, or Ruler of the Black Flame time, mixed with Raging Surf in Japanese. That was their first fusion set, very interesting. Of course, in English, Raging Surf was part of Temporal Forces, so a little bit different arrangement there. But that's when Indonesia started doing its own thing. Beforehand, it started, out in 2019 with its own individual, independent sets, unique sets, I guess you could say. But then once they caught up with Japan at a certain point, then they just pretty much copied and pasted their sets. Just their booster boxes looked a bit different. Again, the Secret Rares weren't guaranteed at the time. That's also kind of why I stopped opening Indonesian cards for a bit. It just wasn't as fun. The pull rates are, in my opinion, even a bit worse than the Korean Pokemon booster boxes. Also don't guarantee Secret Rares. But now the fact that it is guaranteed, and also because we have unique arrangement, it's more fun to open Indonesian boxes, in my opinion. We have Galvantula EX, Stellar Galvantula. Very nice special art rare in this set as well, which I did pull in Japanese. That was quite the looker. I love that card. But I was really hoping to pull the Terapagos, but I won't complain about Lacey or Tara. So yes, when it comes to the trainer names, they have a bit of history changing back and forth. Of course, some of the names will be the same, like Briar, Miss Briar, we've seen from the DLC, but others like Lacey will be a bit different. Oh my gosh, these art rares are looking really nice in this set. Zeraora, absolutely beautiful, love the bold colors. We had a promo of this in traditional Chinese too from that special blister set, but none of that in this one. Actually no, the Indonesian version, also there is a blister with a promo stamp too. It's pretty much the same format as the traditional Chinese blister, just in Indonesian, different language. Cradilly. Yeah, already starting off the box really strong. We already have a couple of art rares. We have our secret rare pull too, but there's still lots to see. Some of you wanted to see a full booster box of Indonesian Pokemon cards, and I know it's been a while. I'll try to continue Indonesian Pokemon openings. And also too, I've started putting items in my web store, so if you want to experience Indonesian Pokemon cards for yourself, booster boxes, singles, etc., even collection boxes, be sure to check out my web store, KrystalKollectz.com. I even have the Pikachu in a Batik collection box also on my web store, so be sure to check that out before it runs out. You know, with certain items I can get a hold of, but after it's gone, sometimes I can't guarantee a restock, so I apologize for that, guys. So definitely get them while they're still available. I highly recommend that. But continuing, hopefully we can pull some Terapagos. Even the regular EX is nice. I love how the stellar cards look. Absolutely gorgeous. And one thing you'll really see too with Indonesian cards, you'll see a lot of text. Again, I know some people might think this is weird because it's like, you know, at least back in Sword and Shield era, this would also have silver borders because it's printed in Japan. Very nice Zeraora. It would look like English cards but with silver borders. But, you know, now that we're in Scarlet and Violet era, it's expected since all languages now have silver borders, even Korean cards. So we're all standardized, which is nice. Yeah, even the trainer or supporter cards will have slightly different names. I love this Rowlet. It's creepy and cute at the same time. Perugly, Milcery, and Dashbun. Yes, the SAR is also in the set. Very nice. So when it comes to the combination sets, overall Indonesia will follow what the Japanese sets are, you know, like overall in terms of the card lists. Sometimes English, they kind of jumble things around, like Stellar Crown. I know they included the Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander art rares from that collection, sorry, that triple starter deck or something like that from Japanese. And they messed around a little bit with the art rares from from Mask of Change, and they threw it into Shrouded Fable, I believe, but we saw that in Mask of Change. So overall, these sets will follow more or be more loyal towards the Japanese releases. If I say a set is going to contain cards from, you know, Stellar Crown and Shrouded Fable, it'll be most of the cards, not every single one of them. Just please keep that in mind. Lileep. Tara again. It sounds so familiar to her Japanese name, Taro. It's funny, which is a purple root, like a light purple root. A lot of these names tend to be named after plants, I notice, with Pokemon trainers. Not all of them, but some of them for sure, especially the professors, usually trees. Electabuzz, Cubone, Impidimp, Bicomia, very nice. Oh yeah, Algo is Kofu in Indonesian, so like algorithm. Hilarious. I don't know what he would have to do with the algorithm, unless he's behind it. Alright guys, halfway through the box. Again, we got a lot of our big hits already, but hey, I'm still looking forward to that one more art rare. This set has, you know, all the art or illustration rares we've seen from Shrouded Fable and Stellar Crown, except for the Loyal 3, which we've seen, and, you know, which I think it's in the previous set before this one, the equivalent of Mask of Change and Crimson Haze. Transfiguration Mask is the name of that set. So slightly different names in Indonesia when you translate it into English. Very nice Eevee, and I thought that was an art rare. It isn't. It's just a Grimmsnarl with a lot of text. Very interesting. That you'll see this especially on the special arts of the tag team cards in Sun and Moon era. There's an Alolan Executor with a Rowlet that just gets absolutely like smothered in text. It's pretty much suffocated. You can only see the Executor, you can't even see the Rowlet. It's absolutely hilarious. I'd even just collect it for that, you know, situation. It's funny. Alright, but continuing, still hunting for the third art rare. Is there a chance of pulling a second secret rare? Yes, because this is printed in Japan. It can happen. Again, probably the same likelihood as you would see in Japanese Pokemon booster boxes, not very often. And I see a stellar card. It is Lapras. Very nice. So some attacks might have, you know, the same wording as English, but some might be different. Power Splash or Larimar Rain, whatever Larimar means. But this is really cool. I love the, again, Japanese card quality. If you prefer to see the English names, but you want the Japanese card quality, definitely look into collecting Indonesian. And I try to make that easier for you guys. Be sure to check out my web store, KrystalKollectz.com. I'll definitely continue the flow of Indonesian Pokemon releases because they're definitely getting interesting now, especially with the promos. I believe that's really what sparked the interest for Indonesian cards globally. If you remember the KFC promos back then, the full art Pikachu, And even now with Pikachu's Indonesia journey, I really love the batik shirt Pikachu promos. I really hope other countries do something similar, something like a Pikachu journey in blank, wherever the country may be. I just think it's cool, the cultural implications into the actual promo design. And yes, we have our A-Spec neutral center. Each booster box should guarantee one of these, just like your typical Japanese Pokemon booster boxes, even Korean. That's pretty consistent across all the Asian languages. And we're still going. We're still looking for that last illustration rare or art rare. Hey, Algo. Be really funny to pull that as a full art too. Just big fat Algo. And we have Duskull, Weavile. I just prefer the full art trainers more than like the small artwork of the, you know, on the regular cards. I like seeing it in full. I love Kofu. His name reminds me of Tofu with a K. All right, one to the front. And he's a water type gym leader, so I always like water types in general. Joltik, Hoot, Haxorus. And on to the next pack here. Just a few left, guys. Also, their backing of the packs is quite plain compared to the front. Something a bit different from other packs. And oh yeah, also too, one thing that's interesting as well, Thai Pokemon sets have started doing this whole blendy, you know, combination sets. Starting with this set in particular though, Bimbingan Rasi. Beforehand, they were copying exactly what the Japanese sets have been doing. Of course, in the beginning in 2019, they had their own unique sets like Indonesia up until they caught up. But I think maybe they're just trying to save on printing, save on time. Maybe this is more efficient for Japan to keep up with everything because they did take on simplified Chinese cards in mainland China. Maybe this is their way of balancing things out, which is cool. At least we're keeping up with releases. And also, it will make, you know, certain cards harder to pull, unlike the smaller Japanese sets, because the set is a bit bigger. Not a giant mashup set like the ones from 2019, but, you know, slightly a bit bigger than a normal set that we'd see in Japanese. Rowlet, Tornadus. I see Rowlet so many times. Alright guys, we have 4 packs left. Let's see if we can pull another secret rare, or definitely at least one more art rare. That's what I'm hoping for. Very curious to see what that is. Raboot, Joltik, Diplin, and Sylveon. Very nice Sylveon. Very dark theme. Matching Night Wanderer. I like how on theme the artwork is for a lot of these cards. Alright, and this is also just a survey if you're wondering what that is. Nothing important, especially if you don't live in Indonesia. Wouldn't really pertain to us. Absol, Duskull, Grubbin by Jerky, and Pangoro. Again, if you like the English names, you prefer to, you know, be sure to remember every single Pokemon. Indonesian's great, and if you want to preserve that lovely Japanese card quality, especially on the secret rares, it really shines very nicely. Fletchling, Dusclops, Duraludon. Ooh, very nice. Tapu Bulu. This is a very detailed art rare or illustration rare. It reminds me of the Reggie Drago art rare. It's a different artist, but this is really cool. And for some reason, I like when the environment pops more than the Pokemon. You just see it sitting in the middle. Very nice. With the Wood Hammer attack, very powerful. Alright guys, so that's our 3rd art rare, and we're on our very last pack. That could have been last pack magic, but it's okay. But again, like I said before, if you guys want to feel for yourself how Indonesian cards are like, you want to experience it for yourself, be sure to check out my web store, KrystalKollectz.com. Ship worldwide within 24 hours. That'd be ending that with an Okidogi, so we do get last pack magic. And also be sure to check out my merch, and be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys in the next video.